That's alright. I've done it in the past.
Okay. Okay, we're back, everyone. The podcast is back up. Just before we get back into this, Savitar, would you like to tell everyone where you had to go so urgently?
I had to go make my mother a tea.
He had to make his mother a cup of tea.
For those that didn't hear it, yes.
Fuck's sake.
British problems is what I say.
British problems indeed. We were talking about the story. I've sort of ran that whole thing down.
Oh yes. I'm gonna stop talking with a posh accent now.
It
It's
doesn't
annoying.
suit you at all. It really doesn't.
Why? Why? Thank you, kind sir.
Oh dear.
That's because you know what I look like. It's why I look. It's because you know what I look like, so you know that voice does not suit me at all.
It doesn't suit you at all. Oh lord. So let's try and make this bit count because we've still got to try and hit over an hour if I'm somehow able to edit these together and total them up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about an original character for the sequel. Let's give the people something good to go off with. Character we're going to be talking about is a character named Abeloth, God of Fear. And this is
I
one
like
guy.
the name already.
Yeah, you really
Come on,
like
mate.
you like this guy, and you like sort of the way things are going in terms of like these original characters. And
God of speed and God of fear.
yeah, he is a speedster as well. Like it's worth touching on.
Oh yeah.
He is designed as a speedster. The way I sort of came up with him was the worst kind of way ever. I made a character with like the same name in DC Universe Online. Literally, it's all based off of that power set. It's all based off his movement and his powers. That's all I'm gonna say. You
Who
think
did you base it off? You said because it cut out.
a character
It
I
cut
made in DC Universe Online? I'm not even joking. I can't hear you.
You have to DM the what you said because you keep on cutting out.
Okay, I'll just message you.
Yeah, you based him on TikTok. Oh,
I'm not even joking either. That's literally how I have come up with him. That is the very idea behind the character. I made him after a character I made in
like a lot.
DC.
Like a lot of it. A lot of it original.
Yeah, like he doesn't really have any sort of set storyline in it. So he is actually just sort of like a character who while he has a determined power base, well, power set and stuff, he doesn't really have a story to him. And I really like the idea of he's gonna go toe to toe with Supergirl a lot in the sequel. At least if it turns out to be the one we do, which, judging from current reactions, is very likely. He really wants to fight Supergirl. He really wants to fight her. He doesn't care if he'll lose. He just wants to fight her.
You mean he doesn't touch her?
No,
No.
for fuck's sakes. No, he just really wants to fight her because he fancies himself like this, like, oh, I'm a god sort of thing, but he feels like he's properly sort of earned the whole status that he's given himself. He feels like he's earned it.
Yeah. I mean, to be a god, you just have to make people believe you are.
You had to use the quote, didn't you?
Yes.
No, he actually feels like he's
It's always been me, Kane.
No, he
I love his quotes.
He really feels like he's earned the ability to be considered like this all-powerful being. And the interesting thing behind that is he sees Supergirl as like this challenge, this sort of pretender sort of thing. And they've played, things have been played with the idea of Supergirl being a god before. Like they touched on that in a episode of Supergirl only earlier this season. And I found it very sort of interesting in terms of that kind of idea. It was just like is an episode based around religion really like a completely good idea? And the episode worked well, surprisingly. It had a lot going against it. Savitar, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
No, you stop talking. It's from my end.
Okay. But like, basically, they played with the idea of making Supergirl a goddess before. Like, I don't know, you'd probably consider her to be this like goddess of hope or justice or whatever. And like, arguably you're not wrong. Like, she's got all these superhuman abilities. She's known for providing hope, and that's really a lot of the role she plays. And Abeloth doesn't really like that, so he'll consider her his arch nemesis.
Ah.
So he is basically just like, you're a pretender, I want to kill you. So
this man is this girl is no god. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. That's his attitude, but he also feels like it's him taking this to a whole new level. Like, he doesn't actually have anything that properly he can give him an overall advantage, and he doesn't really care if he loses either. He just wants to see that he's worthy of like this title she's been given by some people, particularly on her world. And like, also, he really doesn't like her because he's only really heard about her through rumors, like because she's only really come to our Earth 1, which would be our Earth once before.
Yeah.
And what's the reason for that? Well, she wasn't really around for any of the crossovers beforehand, so this is why she's only really known by rumor on Earth 1 as opposed to being factually known on her Earth.
On Earth 38.
Yeah, so then there's that whole idea and perspective of like, is this so-called Supergirl real? Which is his kind of angle on the whole thing. Or is she fake? That's what he wants to find out. But I've told you before, Supergirl doesn't really have her own sort of main villains in her sort of storyline for the game. She's there to provide people these hope. He's clearly, because like, she's seen that someone or something, it's clearly someone in this case, has gone around and dedicated themselves just to hurting and causing so much fear. She's recognized
really,
that.
You say we shot any main enemies. Really, does that mean she's just a supporting character?
No, not really, because like Abeloth unintentionally takes that role, and I never really created him with that in mind.
I mean at first, before he comes along.
No, because she's there providing hope. She's giving hope to Barry and Oliver in this, because
usually isn't that what the support character does?
No, because she has so much more. She has so much more of a main angle, and like unofficially, unofficially, you could sort of consider like the characters who are going to be in this game, hero-wise, being the TV Justice League, like the Arrowverse Justice League. I'm also talking as someone who's seen that movie. They're about 1,000 times better than the ones DC made for the movie. They really need to hire us as writers instead of the people they've currently got.
I know.
Just
well,
badly.
You anyway. I'm not good at writing. I'm not good at writing.
That's why you hired me.
Yes, it is.
But realistically, like, Supergirl wasn't really there as the supporting character, and like, she, Barry, and Oliver would be considered this like trinity, the main people who got this started up. Like, people say, oh, it's Superman, it's Batman, and it's Wonder Woman. Batman is shit, he can fuck off, and Wonder Woman wasn't really good enough to stay in Justice League. Like, she was one of the better characters in it, but even then it wasn't all that good. But then look at it this way. So Oliver is like the first. He's the veteran of them. He's considered the leader of them unofficially, and like he'll have that title in the sequel to this game. And then you consider there's Barry. He is the sort of charismatic, heartful one. Like he's the heart of the team, some will argue. And then there's Supergirl. She's the tough one, but she provides hope, and that's what her intentions are. So again, like Abeloth wasn't created to be this sort of character who went around trying to make an arch nemesis of Supergirl, but nor does he really directly fit into her storyline that she'll have either. Like, I don't know, things are potentially going to change, and they're going to change a lot, because obviously that's only the first draft. But
yeah.
if it were to go down where he does become like the main villain for whatever storyline she has, you know, I've said to you before, like, I'd want this to be a bit more episodic. I don't want it to be like Telltale levels of episodic, but I want it to be like this sort of episode where you can free roam around while you're in a mission, sort of thing.
That's open world. That's open world game. Not open world games.
I'll discuss my meaning with you later. Like, it's not really easy to understand, worth explaining on podcast. But I'll explain it to you, so don't worry. So, you know, that's Abeloth's perspective. He thinks Supergirl's this pretender, and he wants to put her down. That's literally the idea. She is the one thing he can't put fear into. That's the literal idea. He doesn't scare her.
She's got so much hope, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and like, he doesn't scare her. Oliver will be scared of him because he has, like, this ability, not just as a speedster, but he also has the power over fire. So some will argue, oh, his powers come from health, and fire can cause a great deal of fear. They're not wrong. And
that's a good point. Never thought of that.
And then Barry isn't really used to being able to dodge fire attacks of someone who's traveling as fast as he has. He'll be afraid for that reason. So Supergirl is literally the only one who doesn't get infected by that, and he will be furious at it.
I mean, I can imagine Barry at first. I can imagine it. And anyone that's watching, this is unofficial, it'll be like, oh, leave it to me, I've faced a god before. Oh, crap.
You know, that's pretty much like the same kind of reaction it would be, because, like, Savitar hadn't really properly become one yet. He nearly did when Barry interrupted him, and he wasn't a god at that point. Abeloth has sort of made himself this god. He's made himself very close to immortal, and there'll be a storyline behind that. There is going to be a storyline behind the fact of he's pretty much made himself immortal, and he didn't need to do it the way he did, but he chose to because he knew it would potentially get the attention. He knew it would.
As long as we get to play, I'm happy.
As long as you get to play as this character, you'll be happy.
Yes. Any speedster.
Oh, you'll get to play as, like, the three main heroes, definitely, and you know, think of it like it's a very interesting kind of style it will have to be, because, like, this has a bigger ensemble cast than that we'd have to go out looking for, as opposed to, say, something similar to, I don't know. And again, go and look at the crossovers for this. Like, Harry, Oliver, and Supergirl and Kara are the main people. They're the main leaders of all these people. Barry, in a way, is the second in command. He's sort of like this leader when Oliver's not around. He leads the people he has to lead. Like, he's in charge of his team, obviously, and that's the way it seems to go. Oliver is always sort of renowned as this leader because he's not there to be the inspirational one. He's there to be the one of, I don't care if people dislike the methods, but I do care if people don't follow the things properly. Like, there are rules to this, and you have to be careful. And, like, that's where he and Barry fall into common ground. Supergirl is leading her team with, like, I'll kill, but I don't want to. And Oliver sort of had that same perspective as well.
No.
But, you know, it's a very interesting kind of colour, particularly because, like, Abeloth's costume wouldn't reflect, like, the traditional quote-unquote colour of Thea within, like, the DC universe, which is yellow. He tends to go for more of a white sort of costume. His lightning is white, even outside of any sort of armour or suit, it is white lightning.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Starts making this guy Savitar armour immediately.
Let me just launch Blender.
But
No.
literally, like the guy, Supergirl's really not gonna know. How does she take down a speedster? She's never really had to fight one. And then add in the fact of
Barry.
if no, she never really had to fight Barry either, did she? Because like they're both on the same side. Barry can't help because he's too busy fighting Godspeed. Oliver can't help because he
Yeah.
can't do anything to dodge these fireballs.